Screenshots don't lie. They only keep quiet. Beneath them, deleted profiles and tabs that never closed. Tales that started as a joke and ended with someone missing. This is Lermo Stories, the truth that makes you want to turn the screen off. Dim the lights and don't look back. Okay, so this is probably going to sound insane, but I swear I'm not making any of it up. I live in a single dorm on the 3rd floor of my university's older residence hall. Tiny-ass room, no roommate, barely enough space for a bed and a desk. The walls are paper thin, and the radiator hisses like it's dying every night. But hey, I like the quiet. Or at least I used to. Last Friday, around 2:30 a.m., someone tried to open my door. I was still awake, watching YouTube in the dark with my headphones in. I wouldn't have even noticed if I hadn't seen the doorknob move in the reflection of my laptop screen. Just a tiny turn, like someone testing it. At first, I thought maybe it was my RA doing rounds or some drunk idiot from the floor below who got the wrong room. That happens. I waited a few seconds, but there were no footsteps, no knock, just silence. I got up and looked through the peephole. No one was there. I even opened the door, checked the hall in both directions. Empty. Lights buzzing. Vending machine humming at the end. Weird, but whatever. I locked back up and went to bed. Next day, I mentioned it casually to my friend Nate over breakfast. He raised an eyebrow and said, "You sure you weren't sleepwalking or something?" I told him no, I was wide awake. But the joke stuck with me. That night, I propped a heavy chair against the door, just in case. Around 3 a.m., I woke up to a clunk, the chair shifting. Heart pounding, I grabbed my phone and started recording. I didn't hear anything else, no footsteps, no voices, but the chair had definitely moved a few inches. Next morning, I checked the footage. Nothing, just the sound of the radiator and me snoring for 6 minutes. But here's the part that actually freaked me out. In the very beginning of the video, barely visible, the doorknob turns again. And for exactly one frame, I swear to God, you can see a hand. Not just any hand, my hand. I paused it, zoomed in. It's blurry, grainy, and the lighting sucks, but I know my own veins, my own wrist. That's me, trying to get in. But I was asleep the whole time, right? I didn't go to class that day. I just sat there, rewatching the footage over and over, scrubbing back and forth. Every time that hand appears for a split second. Same skin tone, same stupid scar on the knuckle from when I fell off my bike as a kid. I thought maybe it was sleepwalking. Maybe I got up, unlocked the door from the inside, walked out, then tried to get back in. I even Googled that exact scenario. But my door automatically locks when it closes. You need a key card from the outside. I checked my desk. My keycard was still there, so unless I slipped through the wall like a ghost, there's no way I could have gotten out and then tried to get back in. At least, not that me. By the 3rd night, I was getting seriously paranoid. I stacked a few textbooks on top of the doorframe, so I'd hear if it opened. Piled stuff in front of the door. I even downloaded one of those motion-activated camera apps on my phone and propped it on the bookshelf. I barely slept. At 3:14 a.m., the app triggered. I didn't hear the alert until morning, but when I checked the clip, my heart dropped. Someone's standing in the hallway, facing the peephole, not knocking, not saying anything, just standing there, motionless. And yeah, it looks like me. Same hoodie, same posture, even the same hair sticking up in that awkward way I hate. But the face, I don't know how to describe it. It was mine, but not quite. Eyes just a little too wide, mouth open like it was caught mid-word. No expression. It stood there for 7 full minutes. Then it stepped out of frame. I didn't hear a single sound. Nothing fell. The textbooks stayed put. I ran down to security and begged them to pull the hallway camera footage from that night. They were surprisingly cool about it, said they'd check and let me know. Later that afternoon, the guy from the desk emailed me a single screenshot from the hallway cam. Timestamp matches exactly. But the hallway is empty. Completely empty. No one there. Except my door is wide open. I don't remember opening the door. I don't remember getting up at all. But the security footage doesn't lie. I'm not on it. No one is. And the door just opens. All the way. Then slowly closes again. Like someone stepped inside and shut it behind them. Only thing is, I never heard it. And nothing inside the room was moved. Nothing except the chair I'd wedged under the doorknob? It was back in its place at my desk. I hadn't touched it. At that point, I seriously thought I was having some kind of breakdown. I made an appointment with campus mental health. The soonest they could fit me in was next week, so I called my mom. Tried to sound casual. Asked if I'd ever had sleepwalking issues as a kid. She was quiet for a long time. Then she said, "You don't remember that summer at the cabin, do you?" I didn't. Or maybe I'd blocked it out. All she said was that I used to go missing at night. They'd find me standing outside, barefoot in the woods. Once I was at the edge of the lake just staring at my reflection. She said Dad made me sleep with the bedroom window nailed shut after that. I asked if anything ever followed me in. She didn't laugh. She just said, "We don't talk about that." That night, I didn't bother with the camera or the chair. I just sat on my bed, facing the door, waiting. At 3:11 a.m., the handle turned. Slowly. No sound, no knock. And then the door opened. Just a few inches. I couldn't see anything at first. The hallway light was off. Then something leaned into view. It was me. Same face, same pajamas, but completely still. I couldn't move. It opened the door wider and took one step inside. Then it whispered, "I don't need your permission anymore," and smiled. That's when I finally moved. I threw my desk lamp at it and slammed the door. I barely slept, packed everything the next morning, told the housing office I had a family emergency, and moved off campus. It's been 2 weeks. No knocks, no strange footage, no dreams. But I still check the door every night at 3:11. And sometimes, just for a second, I get this awful feeling, like there's already someone inside, watching me from behind my own eyes. I know this is messed up. I'm not proud of it. But I follow people. Not for any violent reason. I don't talk to them. I don't get close. I just observe. It started after my divorce. I'd walk the city at night, lonely, restless, and sometimes I'd pick someone, just someone who looked interesting, and follow them for a while. A guy in a nice coat, a woman on the phone, an old man dragging a cart, just to see where they went, how they moved, what kind of life they might have. It felt harmless. I always stayed at a distance. I never followed anyone home. Until last Thursday. It was late, past midnight. I'd just bought coffee and smokes. I was heading down 6th when I saw him. Tall, hood up, all black clothes. He walked like he knew exactly where he was going. Confident, no wasted motion. Something about him pulled me in. I crossed the street and kept my distance. He turned down Birch, a quiet block where the streetlights flicker. I stayed back. Just enough to see him, not enough to be seen. Then he turned down an alley I didn't know existed. I paused. Normally, I'd stop there, call it a night. But not this time. The alley was narrow, wet, trash bins everywhere. He walked ahead, calm, silent. I tried not to step on glass. Then he stopped. Didn't turn around. Just froze, mid-step. I stood still. Maybe he heard me? 10 seconds. 20. Nothing. Then he turned his head. Not fully, just enough so I could see his jaw in the light. And he smiled. It wasn't friendly. It was like he knew. My stomach dropped. I turned and walked away, calm, not rushing, just enough to not seem scared. I didn't hear footsteps. I didn't look back. When I got home, I locked the door and pulled the blinds for the first time in years. I should have stopped there. But the next night, I saw him again. Same hoodie, same street, and this time, he was already looking at me.
He was just there, across the street, standing still, watching. I froze for a second outside the store, tried to play it cool, lit a cigarette, didn't look at him, didn't run, just walked. But I felt it. That stare. Heavy. Focused. I turned the corner fast, cut through a side street, heart pounding. Every sound behind me made my skin crawl. But when I looked back, nothing. That should have been enough to scare me straight. But the next night, I went out again. I told myself it was just to grab food, but I walked the same route as before. Same streets, same rhythm. I didn't see him, but something was off. On the wall of an old dry cleaner, someone had spray painted, "Why did you stop?" 4 words. Sloppy. Fresh. I stared at it too long enough to feel watched. I walked home fast, didn't look back. The night after that, I didn't go out. Didn't sleep either. I kept thinking about the alley, the smile, the way he turned his head, like he was expecting me, like he wanted me there. At 12:03 a.m., I heard it. A knock. Not on my door, on my window. I live on the 3rd floor. There's no fire escape, no ledge, nothing anyone could stand on. I stayed frozen under the blankets, didn't move, didn't breathe. Another knock. Same rhythm. 3 slow taps. Then silence. I stayed awake till morning. When I finally looked out, the alley was empty, but I found something new. On my windowsill, wedged into the corner. A Polaroid. It was me, from behind, walking down Birch, same coat, same night I followed him. On the back, someone had written, "Keep going."
I left the Polaroid on the floor and backed away like it could bite me. I didn't sleep. Didn't eat. I just sat there, blinds closed, phone in hand, thinking about calling the cops, but what would I say? I followed a guy and now he's following me back? They'd laugh. Or worse, think I was the threat. The next night, I didn't move from the couch. Midnight came and went. Silence. But at 12:17 a.m., I heard it. A soft slide. Something pushed under the door. I waited before checking. Maybe 10 minutes, maybe 30. Another photo. My front door. Taken from behind me. Like someone had been standing right over my shoulder. My hand was on the doorknob. The writing on the back. "You used to be better at this." That's when I left. No suitcase, no plan, just keys and a half-charged phone. I drove for hours, slept in the car, ate whatever I could get from gas stations, changed motels every night. I thought I was in the clear. Until last night. I checked into a cheap place off the highway. Paid cash. Gave a fake name. Standard now. As I was grabbing coffee in the lobby, I saw a small flyer on the bulletin board. Torn edges. Wet ink. Smelled like spray paint. It said, "I liked it better when you were watching." I haven't checked out. I haven't left the room. I pushed the dresser in front of the door. But deep down, I know the truth. He's still out there, waiting for me to follow again. I work at a shoe store in a dying mall. One of those places that used to be packed in the 2000s, but now feels like a giant tomb with piped-in pop music and bad lighting. The escalators still work, but half the shops are empty. Their signs removed, glass storefronts dusty and bare. I've worked the closing shift for over a year now. Nothing special. Minimum wage, slow evenings, the occasional Karen trying to return 3-year-old sneakers worn once. I don't mind it. It's quiet, I keep my head down, do my job, go home. This happened 2 weeks ago, and I still don't know what to make of it. It started with my jacket. I hang it in the back room on a hook next to the cleaning supplies and the busted microwave that makes everything taste like burnt popcorn. I'd left it there like I always do, pockets empty. When I finished closing and went to grab it, I slipped it on and immediately felt something heavy in the right pocket. It clinked. I froze. I reached in and pulled out a key. Just a regular brass house key, cold, slightly worn, like it had been in someone's pocket for years. Attached was a small white tag, looped through with thin wire. On one side, someone had written, "It's yours now." I checked the pocket again. No wallet, no phone, just the key. I looked around. The back room was empty. The cameras don't cover that far back, just the front register and the entrance. No one else had been near my stuff. Not that I saw, anyway. It was probably a prank. I told myself that. Maybe one of the guys from the vape kiosk trying to be funny, but it didn't feel funny. It felt quiet, intentional. The tag was handwritten, but neat, precise. I slipped the key into my bag and left. The parking lot was nearly empty, the kind of dark that only happens in places built for thousands but used by a dozen. My car was under one of the broken lights near the edge. As I walked toward it, I kept thinking about the key. Why now? Who would even... I stopped. There was a car parked next to mine, a black sedan, tinted windows, running lights off, no sound. It hadn't been there earlier. I slowed my pace. It wasn't illegal to park there, could have been anyone, but my gut was tight, like something was leaning just behind my ribs. I reached my car, unlocked it, and got in without looking at the sedan. Just kept my head down, started the engine, drove straight out of the lot. I didn't check if they followed. When I got home, I tossed the key on the kitchen counter and tried to forget it. The next morning, it was gone. I don't live with anyone. No roommates, no pets, just me in a one-bedroom apartment above a dentist's office. The front door has a deadbolt, and the only windows are too small for anyone to fit through without breaking them. And yet the key was gone. I checked everywhere. The counter, the floor, under the fridge even. Nothing. I even pulled apart the trash in case I'd thrown it out by accident. I didn't sleep well that night. Every little noise made me flinch. Pipes knocking, wind against the window, the buzz of the hallway light. I kept thinking, what if someone has my key? But that didn't make sense. It wasn't my key. Someone gave it to me, right? The next few days were weird but quiet. Work was normal, no more mystery objects in my coat. I asked around, casually, if anyone had seen anything strange, just in passing. Most people shrugged. One of the stock guys, Lenny, said, "Oh yeah, I thought I saw you walking around the lot the other night." I hadn't been. I asked when. He said, like after close, you walked right past the windows, didn't wave, just kinda kept walking. I asked which way I went. He pointed toward the back lot, toward the dumpsters. That wasn't me. I brushed it off, tried to act like he was mistaken, but it stuck in my brain. The way he said it, like he wasn't sure if he should have brought it up. The next time I closed, I checked my jacket before I even put it on. Nothing in the pockets. All clear. I walked to my car, head on a swivel. No strange sedans, just a couple of food wrappers blowing across the pavement. But when I got in and shut the door, I felt something dig into my back. I reached behind me and pulled out the same key. No tag this time. Just the key, resting on the seat where I know I didn't leave it. I didn't drive. I just sat there for a long time, gripping the wheel. Eventually, I went home. This time, I didn't leave the key on the counter. I locked it in the drawer by my bed, shoved under old receipts and expired batteries. The next morning, the drawer was open, and sitting neatly on top, the key. And a new note. "You're almost there." I called out of work the next day, said I had a stomach bug. I couldn't shake the feeling that something was inching closer, pressing against the edges of my life. Quietly, patiently. The key stayed on the nightstand. I didn't touch it, didn't even look at it again. But I couldn't bring myself to throw it away either. It felt wrong, like it would just come back. Or something worse would. That night around 2 a.m., I woke up to a sound at my front door. Not knocking, clicking, like a key turning in the lock. I sat up, heart pounding. Stayed absolutely still. One click, then another, then silence. I waited until sunrise before checking. The door was locked, no marks, no sign of anyone. But someone tried it, I'm sure. The next night I gave in. I took the key and put it back in my coat pocket exactly where it first showed up. I didn't know why. Maybe it was guilt. Maybe I thought it would stop if I just followed along. I drove back to the mall. It was late. Stores closed, lot mostly empty. Janitors, maybe a guard or two. I parked in my usual spot. Sat with the engine off, key in pocket. At 11:52, I saw movement. A figure. Walking slowly along the far end of the lot, drifting in and out of the streetlights, too far to make out clearly. They didn't come closer. Just hovered at the edge, like they knew I'd follow. And I did. The key felt heavier the closer I got. The figure disappeared behind the old Macy's loading dock. I turned the corner and saw a metal door I swear wasn't there before. No sign, dented at the bottom. I tried the handle. Locked. Then I reached into my pocket. The key fit. It turned like it belonged. Inside, a dim concrete hallway. Long, gray, buzzing lights overhead. It bent left, then right, then again. Felt like it shouldn't fit inside a mall. Eventually, I reached a small room. Empty, except for a chair. And a coat, folded neatly on the floor. My coat. Not the one I was wearing. An exact copy. Same rip at the cuff, same faded tag inside the collar. My name, written in marker, from 2 apartments ago. I backed out, heart hammering, then I ran. I turned corners blindly until, without warning, I was outside again, just back in the parking lot. No door behind me, just smooth wall. The key was gone from my pocket. I haven't been back, haven't told anyone. I even switched jackets. But last night, when I got home from work, there was something on my doormat. A brass key. No tag. I wasn't going to post this. I'm not the type. But I had to tell someone. If I disappear or stop posting, at least you'll know this. Someone gave me a key. I used it, and I don't think it's done with me. Hey Reddit. I'm not really sure where to post this. I'm not even sure what this is yet. I just know something feels off. A couple weeks ago, I got back from a solo trip through Switzerland and northern Italy. Just me, my backpack, and my camera. I've always liked quiet places. Lakes, mountains, empty towns, the kind of spots that don't show up on travel blogs. I took a ton of pictures. I like setting up self-timer shots with my tripod, trying to make them look natural. I was going through them last night, sorting and editing, when I saw something strange. There's a photo from a bridge overlooking Lake Lungern. It's a time shot. I'm standing in the middle of the frame, smiling, arms folded. Trees behind me, the lake below. I didn't notice it at first, but in the background, just between the trees, there's someone. A woman, standing still, deep in the woods, wearing a long black coat. Her face, I swear to God, it's just a blur. Everything else in the photo is clear. You can see details on her coat, her hands, even the laces on her boots. But where her face should be, there's nothing. Just a gray smear. Like the camera couldn't process it. I checked the burst shots. She's in all 3. Same spot, same posture. Not moving. I know this sounds ridiculous. Maybe it is just some camera glitch or lens issue. But I took over 900 photos on that trip. And I've only seen her in 3 of them, all in different places. The second one's from Iselwald. I wasn't even in the shot, just a peaceful lake view. But there she is again, far in the distance, on the shore. Still. Watching. Face blurred. And the third, that's the one that really got to me. It's a photo from Verena, taken down an empty alley near the water. There's an old staircase, ivy on the walls. Nothing special, but she's there, between 2 buildings, half in shadow. Same coat, same face, or lack of one. I didn't see her when I took any of these. And in each photo, she's closer than the last. After the third photo, I stopped editing. I just sat there staring at the screen, trying to slow my breathing. I kept telling myself it had to be some coincidence, maybe a local wearing the same coat, maybe my brain was just connecting dots that weren't there. I almost convinced myself, until I noticed something else. In every photo, she's facing the camera, dead on, like she knew where it was, like she knew I was there. But the creepiest part? I looked closer at the timestamps. These photos were taken days apart, in places miles away from each other. There's no possible way it's the same person showing up by accident. That night, I didn't sleep much. I kept my camera in the closet and shut my laptop. Every sound outside made me flinch. I didn't touch the photos again until yesterday. I had a Zoom call with a friend who's a hobbyist photographer. I screen shared and showed him the 3 shots. I didn't say anything at first, just let him look. He leaned in close on the second image, the one by the lake. "Who's that?" he asked. I didn't answer, I just waited. He zoomed in, squinted, and said, "Is her face missing?" That was all I needed to hear. I didn't imagine it. I started going through the rest of my photos, not just from the trip, but everything on my SD card. I've had the same one in my camera for a while now. Birthday parties, street photos, random walks around my neighborhood. I went back 6 months, and in 3 more shots, all from different times, she's there. One at a park bench behind a row of trees, one in the glass reflection of a train station, and one, barely visible, in the corner of a mirror in a cafe shot. Always the same coat, always facing the camera, always no face. I called my sister in a panic. She thinks I'm being paranoid. It's just a weird trick of the light, she said. Maybe a glitch in the camera. But the thing is, I've switched cameras twice in the last year. Different brands, different lenses, and she still shows up. I started deleting the photos. All of them, not just the ones with her. The whole folder. Everything from the trip. My hands were shaking, but I couldn't stop. It didn't help. That night, I dreamed I was back on the bridge at Lungern. Same spot, same pose, but I couldn't move. I was frozen. I could hear footsteps behind me, soft on the wood, getting closer. When I turned around, I woke up. I grabbed my phone to check the time, and for some reason, I opened my camera roll. No idea why, just instinct. I hadn't taken any pictures since I got back. But at the very top, there was a new one. Not a screenshot, not a download, a photo. Taken at 3:17 a.m. It was from my bedroom doorway. The frame was tilted, like it had been taken low to the ground. The lights were off, but the hall light behind the figure made it easy to see her. Same coat, same posture, still no face. I dropped the phone, literally threw it off the bed. I didn't even pick it back up. I sat there, in the dark, until the sun came up. I haven't gone back into the photos since. I don't want to. I switched out my SD card. I've kept the camera in its bag, haven't touched it. But last night, I was walking back from the grocery store and I saw a window across the street, high up, maybe 4th floor. The glass was dark, but something caught my eye. There was someone standing in the window, just watching. I couldn't see details, but I knew. And here's the thing that keeps looping in my brain. In every photo, she's been closer. Not walking, just appearing, each time a little nearer. But in that photo from my doorway, the one at 3:17 a.m., she wasn't standing anymore. She was crouched, low to the ground, like she was taking the picture. I don't think she's in the photos anymore. I think she's behind the camera now.
Error 404, story not found. But you heard it, didn't you? The words, the static, the silence between them. You weren't supposed to. None of this was supposed to reach you. Something broke in the feed. Or maybe it was meant to. If you can still hear my voice, close the tab. Turn off the screen. Don't let it keep playing. This was Lurmos Stories. System compromised. Signal terminated. Maybe.